Hello, this is Brett Lonsdale, and I'm at home in the UK. And Sandy, you're on the move again.
Yes, I'm at a home, but not mine, in Washington, D.C. right now. Yeah, we're here house and cat sitting.
Excellent. And so you are settling down.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I have officially moved to Florida, and then we left right away and came to D.C. for a month. But but technically, yes, I'm a Floridian now.
Fantastic. Good to hear. So I know you'll still get out and about. So
Yes,
there
yes,
we go.
clearly.
Fantastic. So yeah, last week we spoke about the upcoming release of Social Squared. So
Hmm.
what we were going to do is just dive into that
Yep.
and take a look at some of the new features. And just really as a reminder as well that we do have a webinar. So yeah, we're going to be fairly brief on this call.
Hmm.
Be good to get some feedback. If you do listen to this, but
Yeah.
also if you can make the 24th of February, we've got
Hmm.
the webinar at 4 p.m.
Hmm.
GMT, which is about 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Hmm.
And yeah, if you'd like to join that, we're going to go into some depth on Social Squared about configuring it, that type of thing, and also have a look at what's new as well inside
Hmm.
that product. So we'll go into a lot more detail in that. But what I'd like to do is just sort of do some high level pointing out what's new, what to expect inside this build,
Okay.
and the reasons why we've built some of these features as well, which I
Mm-hmm.
think would be
Hmm.
good.
Okay,
So
that
I'm just
sounds
going to
good.
jump in and share my screen here. So hopefully you'll see that, and
Yep.
let me do this or this. There we go. Alrighty. So yeah, what we've got here inside of um, my SharePoint site is Social Squared, and as you can see, we've got a number of different forum groups and forums. And just very briefly, this is one of the main reasons for using Social Squared is so that you can have sort of structured conversations going on inside of Microsoft Teams, inside a channel as a tab, or also inside a SharePoint site. And the purpose of it is rather than not having a continual feed for this type of conversation where you need to be able to find answers to questions, or you need to be able to post questions in the right category. This is going to be a way where you can achieve that. Based on having those forum groups and forums. And there's one example actually one of our customers came up with was using a water cooler example. And I just thought this is a good analogy. So with the water cooler, it's because a lot of their staff are now working remotely. They wanted them to be able to have the types of conversations
Mm.
um, somewhere, rather than obviously in the corridor at the water cooler. So what they actually have is this water cooler discussion board, and in there is a forum group called pets. There's a forum group called travel. There's a forum group called sport, and so on.
Mm.
And for example, underneath the sport one is football, is cricket, or
Mhm.
baseball, or whatever. So if you are interested in that type of conversation, you can go
Mm.
to the football forum and
Mm.
maybe post about the game last night and that
Oh,
sort of thing.
oh,
And
that's
of
cool.
course, yeah, and if you're not interested in football, then you might be more interested in pets, and you can have your discussions there, and you're not seeing all of this noise that just is not relevant to you.
Mm.
So of course,
Mm.
there's that sort of reason for using it, but there's also other reasons for some form of technical support, where you've got a community supporting some software that your organization uses. It might be brainstorming ideas about how to make improvements inside the organization, that type of thing. With this particular instance, I've got an instance around well-being, so employee well-being inside an organization. And what you'll see is I've got work-life balance forum group. I've also got health and safety, and I've also got employee growth and development. And under the work-life balance, you'll see there's 3 further forums for things like making time for you and working hours and working remotely and things like that. So if we jump into the working remotely forum, you can see some of the different discussions that are taking place there. So we can see these as have been created as new topics. And of course, you can reply to those topics and you can search them and that type of thing. So that's just very quickly what Social Squared is. If we were to jump in and take a look at one, so this very top one here, I can see that it was created by demo user 6. And as I go into that, I can see some new badges first of all. So you've actually got the ability to go through and switch which badge control you want to use now to award people. And this is great that if your demo user 6 was quite regularly within inside this instance of Social Squared, maybe marking things as answered, replying to people, creating their own topics. So in other words, they're engaged in it, the more badges that user will earn, and that will give them, you know, a level of credibility when they're answering other people and that type of thing. So yeah, they've created a post, and as we scroll down, we can see that there's a reply to that post as well. It's marked as answered, and that's another nice little feature that we can actually see you know, what the author considered to be the answer to be. Now, what I can do is simply reply to some of these posts as well. So if you'll notice that we've got some less cluttered interfaces now. So down in the bottom right hand corner is just a reply button. So you're no longer having to look among other links for the
Right.
reply. It's
Yeah,
right
I
there.
like that. Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
you used to have like a little series of words across there that you had to pick out the right one.
exactly right. Yeah. So we've now got some other new features, including reply to with quote as well now.
Mhm.
So a regular reply just looks like this. If I just go in and hit reply, notice that I've got my area here where I can reply. So I'm just going to put my reply, and that'll be fine. So this is a regular reply. So there it is. And then if I want to reply with a quote, you'll notice that that is going to embed my reply actually in the text.
That's nice. That's a common request from customers.
Absolutely. So yeah, we do listen to you.
Yep.
So yeah, there's my my response in there. So yeah, now we can actually see it's obvious who I'm responding to. So there's those new features. Now I've also got other sort of likes and things like that that I can do. So we did just have a like button before. Now we've got the like, and we can laugh at people. We can look shocked at what people have said, and, and that type of thing. So you can use that, and I do understand that, you know, a lot of organisations might not want to. So the
Hmm.
water cooler example, that might be fun to use these type of emotion icons, because, you know, if you want to have a banter about the football team that
Mm.
you don't support, then you know, when they lose, you can laugh, and when they win, you can look surprised, and and that type of thing. But yeah, some of the scenarios may not want that, so you can turn
Mhm.
on or turn off each of these features as well, which is obviously
Mhm.
to do. Now you'll also notice along the top here that
Mhm.
we've improved this as well. So we've got things like the delete topic and move topic and make sticky and so on. So they've all got their own sort of icons, and that's cleaned up the interface as far as that's concerned.
Mhm.
And also, you can apply different types of sort order to the threads inside this post as well. So before we had the show answered, and that's just going to show you any post that is marked as answered. But what we also have now is the ability to sort in the order of those marked as answered. So if there was several marked as answered,
Mm.
it doesn't necessarily hide everything else, but it does you know, bring them all to the top, and
Mm.
so you can sort that, and likewise with featured, or the number of votes, or you can sort by author of the post, and that type of thing as well, which is
Cool.
very useful. Now you'll also notice that inside the web part itself, the sidebar has disappeared in my instance. You can
Mhm.
choose from two different modes. This one, I've got the new way of doing it. So you can click the ellipsis in the top left, and that brings you up your menu of views. So in here, we've got things like the recent activities view. We can see the active users view and that type of thing, and that's not cluttering up your page, and we're able to sort of fully describe what those things do.
Mm. Mhm.
So yeah, there's quite a few improvements to the user experience as far as that's concerned, and you can customize it a little bit more as well. So if I go into the web part itself and bring up the web part properties, one of the
Now,
things that
now you're able to do that because you're an admin.
correct, yeah, yeah, exactly. So one of the things that people feed back to us is they don't necessarily want to see answer topics. They don't want to see the topics and posts, or the last post and that type of thing. And it's like, okay, well, you don't want to, but there's other people that do. So what you can do is actually turn on or turn off these columns, and we're going to improve that as well as time goes on, where you can actually sort of design your own views and so.
Mhm.
So in here, you'll notice that I can hide each of these different columns if I want to. And that is useful, uh, especially if you are displaying this on maybe on a home site or a communication page or something, and you're wanting to just take up a little part, like a third of the screen as opposed to the full width of the page, then yeah, you can show and hide those, which is useful. And some other customizations, you can now select your badge, as I mentioned. So this shows lots of different things. And Sandy, you're I know, a beer fan. So if you want, you can actually have beer mugs
Oh,
instead of
nice.
badges. Yeah. So the more you post, the more beer you get, which is great. So again, that would be a great one for that water cooler
Right.
type example.
Yep.
So yeah, once we've selected that will become the badge icon, and so on. So that's the type of thing that we can do. So let's just close that and I'll republish. And so now if we go in, we should be able to see, yeah, that demo user 6 has a pint of beer and so on, which is great. So yeah, there's some UI improvements, and this carries across the Teams as well. So if I was to open up the Teams environment, and I'm just going to do that in the browser here, then you'll see, yeah, all of those same features here under well-being. We can go through and access the same well-being discussions. And of course, this looks more Teamsy than it does SharePointy, but we've got the same thing going on in there. So you've got all of your different views. You can customize it in the same way, and that type of thing also.
Nice.
Now, also while I'm in Teams, I'm just going to drag across my Teams desktop for a moment, because what I have here is, this is my my actual production Teams desktop, and yeah, I've got Viva Connect. So this is my SharePoint home site showing through Viva Connect, and one of the things you'll notice is we've got an instance of Social Squared on this page or inside this site, but I've also got these Viva Connections adaptive cards displaying as well. And so in here, there's different cards that I can add, like the unanswered topics and that type of thing. And the way that we can go through and configure this is by clicking on to see also. I was already in edit mode, and this is the adaptive cards interface. So I'm just going to edit that. And you'll notice that I can edit for the desktop or I can edit for the mobile, and I can choose from an array of different cards. So in here, we've not just got the Social Squared web part available, but we've actually got things like the unanswered topics view and topic subscription and things like that, which is really, really useful. So as we display those, these become a sort of snippet of information as to what's going on inside of Social Squared. So if you are a moderator for a particular forum or something like that, you'll be able to see through Viva Connect, when you go there, that there's actually some unanswered topics, and you can view those. So here they all are. If you wanted to read a bit more into it, then you could do, and you could also go through and mark those as answered and so on, without actually having to go
Nice.
into the full-blown Social
Mm.
Squared face. So that's some of the new features to expect. And yeah, like I said, we're going to go into that in a lot more detail on Thursday, the 24th of February. So if you can make that, that'd be great.
Great. And I know you're going to be very busy the day before that too.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So a couple of days before that. So yeah, we've got, well, the one day
Isn't it
before that,
the day? Yes.
the day before it, we're at the Collab Days conference. So that is at the National Museum of Computing, which is where the code breakers actually help to intercept the codes coming through from the Nazis in Germany. So they were able to decode that. So this was Alan Turing and using the bomb machines, the Enigma machines, and so on to crack those codes. So very, very special place. Obviously changed who we are today. And
Right.
we are holding a Microsoft 365 event in the very place where all of this happened. And
So cool.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. So they found, well, because they didn't want the code breaking machines to ever be found, they dismantled them shortly after the war. So nobody really knew that these things existed until they found drawings. and
Mm,
they're actually able to discover some of the parts for these machines
mm,
and start to reassemble it based on these drawings.
mm,
But that also meant remanufacturing
mm,
based on the drawings these missing components
mm.
to make a fully working Colossus machine,
Mm.
which will actually be at the museum working for everybody
Wow.
to look at whilst they're there learning about Microsoft 365 as well. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool to think about that difference because what was that, only 60, 70 years ago, I guess? Huh. Well, that is
yeah,
a long time,
yeah,
but still.
exactly. Yeah, a lot has changed since then.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, it's such a cool place, and yeah, like I say, we've got about 20 speakers as well, talking on different things like the Power Platform and SharePoint and
Mm,
Teams and so on. Some of
nice.
those speakers are from the UK, but others have come from far afield as well. So yeah, if you wanted to get down there, it's free to attend.
Right. That's
So
important to know.
yeah, exactly.
There will be food probably
There
too.
is food and stuff too, and yeah, one of the coolest things that we're doing on the night before is actually a speaker do for all the speakers that have given up their time and everything. We're actually having a escape room in the museum where you have to escape by using the Enigma machines to resolve the codes.
Wow.
So yeah,
I'll be really interested to hear how that goes.
yeah, I'm sure it's
Like
going to
if
be awesome.
anybody can solve it.
I'm sure they will. We've got some smart speakers
Yes.
there.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, that's happening, and I'm looking forward to that. So
Yeah,
that
very
should be
cool.
great. Excellent.
All right.
Cool. Well, I guess I did most of the speaking, so I'm sorry about that.
That's all
I'll
right.
let you talk more next time.
Yep, I'll do it next time.
All right. Well, good to catch up with you, Sandy,
Yep,
and
same.
take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.